Hello and welcome to the Silver Screen Show, where we review films, talk about films, rant about films.
A lot of ranting today.
A lot of ranting today, because today we have got two fantastic films. Well, I say it a bit sarcastically. One of them is okay. The other way is you need to wait for it. First is a movie called It. It's a supernatural horror film based on a Stephen King book. And the second is also about a book. It's called Deathnote. It follows the.
Segue.
Oh God! It segues into our life about a book based on a Japanese manga. Quite an adaptation. If you know our film reviews, we have been reviewing adaptations of Japanese manga and Japanese anime. None of them have fared very well so far. Let's see what Deathnote, this film.
No, you didn't. Why are you lying?
Let's see what Deathnote does for us. So, without any further ado, let's get started. We have our usual hosts with us, Elenia and Abu, and myself, Mo. So, let's get started with It, shall we?
Yes, It.
Elenia, why don't you open with your
opening statements?
Okay, I guess a bit of background. We've got like a supernatural shape-shifting demon, and most of the time he takes the form of a clown called Pennywise, the dancing clown, and he kidnaps kids every 27 years, I think, is a cycle. And throughout the film, you find out a little bit about that cycle, but not too much. Not as much as if anyone's read the book or seen the original miniseries that was made in 1990, I think.
1990s.
So you find out a little bit about that, but the story is centered around the losers, or they've got another name.
I think they're called the losers. They brand themselves a loser gang.
Yeah. There's a gang of kids, and they're all like bullied and stuff. And the clown,
social outcasts.
Pennywise decides to focus on these kids, and one of them, his little brother, is kidnapped by Pennywise, and it's quite a lot about fear. He uses the fear of the children and shapeshifts into their fears to get them like kind of frozen.
Vulnerable, essentially.
And then eats them or makes them float.
Makes them
That's quite a story. Either eat or float. Which one do you choose?
I don't know.
I think it's an easy choice there.
I don't know, man, but I thought it was pretty creepy and messed up. There was a bit of laughs and things.
A bit too many laughs. I think that's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah,
I think
I like the gang themselves, like all of the kids.
So the characters themselves.
The characters themselves are pretty good. For child actors as well, it's not too bad. But there's one kid, Richie, who's just all about your mum jokes and the dick jokes and
every kind of bad joke.
Are we talking about pre-teen kids?
Yeah, he's like 11 years old, and he just goes on and on and on, and it's just too much.
I just think he was trying too hard to make it into like a comedy kind of atmosphere for no reason. I like just focus on the crazy evil
and
clown.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I think they tried a bit too much to bring that lightheartedness to it, which is why I didn't really enjoy it from my side of it. Because I thought it's making the audience seem all laughing every time a joke came up. They're cheering. I'm thinking, this is not the vibe you want for a horror movie.
Right.
Like it
works sometimes.
Sometimes, but in this, I think it's kind of making the audience feel a bit less scared because all these jokes it's quite regular. Every time that kid comes up, man.
Yeah, you want some variation.
Yeah.
You want the tense bits to be tense and the uplifting bits to be uplifting. But
this is just throughout the movie, it's just constantly and
it was a bit much. Overall, though, I would say that it is a good horror movie. There's a lot of messed up scenes. There's some pretty scary bits. Personally, I'm not a horror movie person. I sit there and I'm like, I guess that's scary in some way.
Scary.
And like the way he moves is very demonic, like what we're used to.
Pennywise.
The Pennywise. He very kind of exorcist kind of movements, like the contortion and stuff like that. That's quite cool. The shape-shifting bits are really cool. Bill Skarsgård is playing Pennywise in this, and he is fantastic.
That's good to know.
I wasn't scared, but that's just me. I'm not afraid of clowns either, so that doesn't.
If you don't like clowns, this is not your thing.
No.
Or weird, demented portrait women.
I just have a feeling. You know, back in 2016, there was a craze about clowns coming out of nowhere. In America, I think. Sometimes even
pranks.
here as well.
The clown
I just have a feeling that this was going to come back again. Into like these copycats coming back.
I mean, unless they're drawing people into the drains and the sewer system, it's not exactly this.
Well, yeah.
I think that's what I had. I thought it's intriguing, it's entertaining in the sense like I want to find out what's happening to these kids because they've got a little arc So you find out more about what's happening in the past, who it is, because it's not really a clown. It's more the embodiment of what they fear. It's more like a paranormal presence in a sense. So
do they explain enough to say it's a demon or such?
no, that's the thing though.
Yeah,
they don't
they
really
don't.
go too much into it because there's a very obvious sequel coming up, and they kind of leave it for that. So I mean, we won't spoil too much, but they say it appears every 27 years. That's
Which
the
follows
thing.
through from the 1990
Yeah,
film.
but then it doesn't really
2017.
explain much, just like why. Like why does it do that? But I kind of realized that's going to be explained later on, probably.
I think
course,
they've just kind of switched the order from the series because it's in the series. I watched the beginning of it, and it's they start off with 27 years after the events, and the whole miniseries is told using flashbacks. So they've done it a different way, in that they've started off with them as kids, and then I'm guessing what they're going to do with chapter 2 is they come back 27 years later to fight him again, and then find out
Yeah,
more.
that's
about
like the.
Pennywise.
I think that's the sequel's going to be, because it's heavily hinted, you know, in the future they're
But
doing
surely
more
it'll
stuff.
be like a
Yeah.
prequel sequel mix, so they
Yes.
explain where
But
the kids
I
comes from.
thought that the fact that you had the supernatural thing, you had a bit of tension and suspense in some parts, and then you had a bit of respite and false security, which is what you want.
Barring that one kid who just.
Barring that one kid, you want that dynamic.
Like he's set up in a way you think this kid's gonna die, because the loudmouth always dies in these films, isn't it? Like, you're just asking to be.
it was so annoying.
Because you're waiting for that
Did
one
he?
death, aren't you?
Did he?
You're waiting for that one death in
No
every horror film.
spoilers, no spoilers.
Nah, but in every horror movie, like there was one guy, like, I just can't wait for you to die in it. Like
Yeah.
this guy, like you're just waiting for him. Like will he or won't he? We don't know, but you really want him. That's my one. Like,
But is there a narrative arc that follows, or is it just the Pennywise catching children, taking them wherever he wants to?
yeah, it's like a weird thing where the sense like the kids are aware of it, but adults are kind of vague. They're a bit like what's the word?
They're very ignorant
Yeah.
of the whole thing. They
Adults.
just they just
So do
they
the-
just see that
so
the
the band-
kids are disappearing.
The band of losers, do they come back to their parents?
That's,
during the
it kind of gets a
daytime?
bit spoilerish.
It gets dark when
Yeah.
you start bringing
Oh,
the parents
right,
in
right.
as well. The
But parents are
parents-
very oblivious to it. Like,
Yeah.
like the kids are like, "Yo, we're getting murdered." Like kids are disappearing. They're like, "Oh, really? Okay, it happens." Maybe
okay.
they fell down somewhere and died. Oh well.
Yeah.
Is
moving
that
on.
explained, or is that just
Well, I
an
mean,
oversight?
you've got Mike, the homeschool kid,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, my grandfather says this place is cursed," and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't really go into it that much
Right,
more.
right.
I
I
think
suppose
it's-
that's a good thing then. Sometimes a movie trying to explain too much about its backstory ruins the entire movie itself.
Yeah.
But I think you needed a bit of, because the running time's so long. It's like 2 hours 20 or 2 hours.
yeah,
something like that.
it
It
is
is
a
a
bit.
very
long.
So
long
there was
film,
obviously space there to put some backstory in.
Yeah.
And that kid was way too brave, I think. Like the main, like the protagonist kind of guy.
Oh,
Like
Billy.
he is way too brave for a kid his age. Like he's like, let's go in the sewer and let's.
But the whole thing is like about overcoming your fears and for how strong
But
friendship
even then-
is.
but just
and-
because
Even-
you're not brave
It's got
enough.
a great message.
Even then, he's like, I'm gonna take down this demonic clown with this spear. I'm like, really? Like everyone's, all the other kids are
and
like,
the
the bolt gun.
the bolt gun, yeah. The kid.
He just felt a bit too like, come on, have some level of like, he's just so driven. He's like
He wants
Rambo.
He wants
He's
to
just
find
like,
his little brother though, because his little brother
Yeah.
was taken, and he wants to
That's
find
a good
his little brother.
motivation.
And it's a great motivation.
yeah. But I just never felt like there's any doubt in him. Like I thought there'd be some doubt in the back of his mind, like, what am I doing here? Like, but he's just like, I'm gonna go for this. All our friends like, you're gonna get us killed, man. He doesn't care. He's like, I don't
he's just a kid. He
Yeah.
probably doesn't even
Yeah.
have that planning capability to
But you
think.
have you ever been around kids who literally have no fear? Sometimes
Yeah,
they
they all
just
know the horror films.
I definitely have.
I've never been in a horror movie, but like sometimes you just see these
Yeah.
kids and you're like, you're literally not scared of anything. And if they get something into their head, they're driven about it. They're gonna
Yeah.
do it. And even a demonic shape-shifting clown isn't gonna get in their way.
No.
But I think it was a bit of a kickback to like old school horror, because old school horror is pretty silly. Like if you
What do
watch
you
the
mean by
original-
old school horror, by the way?
like if you think back of like the original Exorcist, and even things like if you go back in Psycho, there are little silly bits that we laugh at now. So if you're going to make a remake of one of those things, you've got to leave a little bit of that.
Bit of
as well.
cheesiness in
A bit of
it.
cheesiness doesn't hurt.
Right.
Can't be too.
Right.
Like, you're not expecting like proper horror. Like
Because like a lot of horror now is just dark. It's not necessarily scary. It's
Yeah.
just dark.
Too
Whereas
bad.
this is like screws with you.
And jump horror.
And
That is
too much
jump
jump
scare.
horror.
Jump
Yeah.
scare, right?
There was
there's
like
just
one or two
every-
jumps where I was like,
it's so obvious.
but yeah, like it doesn't overdo it. Like when I saw The
Right.
Conjuring, I thought, no, this is too much.
It does sound like a more. Go on, please.
I was gonna say, I think because I watched Annabelle Creation a couple of weeks ago, I think that's kind of been on my.
Can't stop talking about it.
Because I think it's really good. I think that's watching that and then watching this kind of thought it's nowhere near as
So
scary.
how would you compare Annabelle versus this one?
Annabelle is a lot more creepier for sure.
A lot creepier.
A lot creepier. And for this one, I just felt it could have been a lot like the trailer sets it up to be very, very creepy and disturbing. But I think this one's kind of more like just the actual film is more like fun horror.
This one.
Yeah, I think you've
I was
got.
a bit disappointed by it. I was kind of
that's
expecting.
what it sounds like.
I was kind of
from what
expecting a
you're
full
saying.
horror movie, whereas this was kind of it became more like half comedy, half horror. I was like, I don't like this to be honest.
But do you think having so many kids together, a bit of comedy is a welcome addition?
It's a comedy just didn't fit the kids though. You know? It's a kid. It's a
I
kind of
think-
comedy.
I think
high.
it's literally,
yeah.
it's just Richie
Yeah.
that overdoes
Alright.
it
Yeah.
with his jokes.
Yeah,
they're just too much.
Yeah, because it's so loud and overbearing, he kind of puts.
Yeah, he's
Dominates
and
the,
it's
yeah.
like
Right.
sometimes it's very misplaced in some of the scenes as well, and you're like they're entering a sewer entrance and he's talking about
Stuff.
I'm not going to talk about these, he's talking about stuff,
Can't be mentioned on camera.
comparing man
Stuff.
deaths and stuff, and it just doesn't really fit the scene at the
Okay.
time. But other than him, and
Yeah.
maybe the length of the film, I
Yeah.
think it was
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, no, that's very good. I mean, the film is directed by Andy Muschietti. I'm afraid I haven't actually heard of
He,
him.
did
he
Mama.
wrote and directed Mama.
Which is another like
I've actually
Yes,
seen Mama.
so-
It was quite a long time back.
2013. So
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. Oh, that was a good film. I quite enjoyed that. Okay, so it definitely sounds. It definitely. Oh, it is actually a pronoun. So this film is it. Well, it is a good film to watch. It seems.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth
Good,
it. But I'll probably say my review will be it's a bit too fun.
a bit too fun.
A bit too fun. I would prefer a lot more horror. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like fun, not for fun for kids, but fun for more adult jokes.
Yeah, a lot of grown-ups will love the
Yeah.
jokes. Stuff like this.
It's just a different kind of horror.
Yeah.
So at the
Right.
moment we're used to dark and creepy. This
Conjuring
is a bit
all
of-
the same,
This, is,
yeah.
this messes with your head a little
Yeah.
bit more,
I mean,
which is what Stephen King does anyway.
yeah. To be honest, just going back to Stephen King, this film is a Stephen King book adaptation.
It's better than his last one.
Better than-
Just say that.
I am going to put this right now. It is so much better than
When you say
Dark
last one.
Tower.
Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower made me angry.
Yeah, man, that was some
And I
serious.
I thought you were
getting-
gonna mention Carrie because I remember I watched Carrie and I was disappointed
Well,
by
the
that
new
as well.
one.
Yeah, the
The one
hit girl.
Yeah,
hit
Chloe
girl Carrie.
Grace
Chloe
Moretz.
Grace
Yeah.
Moretz. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
that
tower?
wasn't-
Tower and be like, yeah.
Dark. Yeah. Watch Dark Tower.
I
and
wa-
just-
Actually, don't.
I went to
No.
watch Dark Tower and something happened. I came out of the theater.
That was
like,
fate saving you. Whatever that was.
12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, I don't doubt you.
No, it was bad.
Yeah. So
And then
in
what's
terms of
your recap, brief overview on the movie? What do you say?
A good horror.
watch it, don't watch it.
Definitely watch it.
yeah,
Definitely watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think
That's what it sounded like to me as well.
Yeah.
So I read the reviews too, and it sounded like it was a good film.
Yeah, they're mainly all positive.
You do
Just-
definitely know your films about. You definitely know your horror films.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean, no. I wouldn't say
well, at
that.
least Abu does.
He knows his
He
horror.
knows quite a bit.
Yeah.
Man, The Conjuring 2 happened in
Yeah.
Enfield, man, so I gotta know my stuff.
Exactly.
Man. It's my local history.
And
this stuff happened. It's real.
This year has been a year of horror films as well. So many horror films coming out. So yeah, we've had our fair
One
share
thing
of.
before we move on to next film, the trailer for Jigsaw. I'm so disappointed by it.
Oh no, you know
I'm
what?
going off on a tangent here, but saying
Yeah,
horror.
I saw it. I saw it today.
Why the
and
jokes? There's one-liners. I'm
I
not. Why the
haven't- I
one-liners?
haven't
You know what?
I've seen it.
Marvel has ruined
say?
it.
Marvel has re-
When you say Jigsaw, you mean
It's another Saw movie.
Yeah, it's another song.
They should have
my
stopped
God.
at 3.
Yeah, they sort of stop at 1.
they should have stopped at one.
They should.
Really, they
they
should have.
like 1 would have been great. 3 was
So
probably
this
the
is what
line.
number.
I don't know what this is.
This is number 8.
Seven?
Number
Eight?
8. Yeah, I think I've definitely
Six,
know there is a Saw 7.
There's a one-liner in the movie. Like, why is a one-liner in a Saw film? Like, I don't. Like I said, we were saying this before camera.
Yeah.
Marvel have kind of made everyone put jokes and stuff.
Yeah,
now.
the injection of comedy into everything
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it worked for Marvel.
Not just
it must
comedy,
work for us.
franchise as well. It already has a second part coming out.
Yeah, everyone
So-
wants a universe. Everyone wants a
franchise.
Then we'll
Yeah.
fight each other in this universe. So, It Guy versus the Dark Idris Elba, man. I want to see that
alright,
fight.
Yeah.
Wait, that's like a Jigsaw
Yeah.
kind of divert because I saw the trailer yesterday before the
yeah,
movie,
yeah.
and I
I
thought,
need to take a look at the trailer. Anyway, it sounds like a pretty good film to watch.
Yeah.
It's done pretty well in terms of commercial, if you're interested. It was made on a 35 million budget.
thank you, Mr.
Marketing
Accountant.
That's actually not bad
Yeah,
considering
and-
the whole scene in the sewer and everything.
Yeah, and it's there's a lot of like CGI animation in it as well, right?
Yeah, I mean that woman with the face.
That
Yeah.
lady was scarier than the clown.
The contortions.
Yeah, the contortion, the shape shifting and
Yeah.
everything.
And it's already made more than double its budget, so
Yeah,
it's a
doing
successful
good.
film. Yeah,
That's
it's a
good.
successful film. It's always good to see a
Yeah.
film that's quality, that's also done well.
And especially because if it makes its budget and then some,
Yeah.
you'll get the second part of the story,
Yeah.
and then it will kind of round it off, hopefully.
Exactly, yeah.
Speaking of quality movies,
Speaking of quality movies, that
Let's
takes us to
Not talk
our
about quality movies.
that takes us to our second film.
how long do we have for this before
We have the rest of the night, and we still won't be able to finish talking
No.
about it because we have take on Japanese manga. Hollywood does the best when they do it.
Dragon Ball Evolution was amazing.
Sarcasm //s. It's Deathnote we are reviewing now. It's a film based on, like I said so many times, it's a dark fantasy film. It's a psychological film, at least it's supposed
supernatural
to be.
thriller.
Yeah, supernatural psychological thriller. A bit of crime drama as well, crime
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah,
It's directed by Adam Wingard.
very horror based.
Very horror-based
Yeah.
film. He's done horror films previously, and which probably brings us to this film, where this film, although its genre should not be a horror, is
They definitely-
directed very
Yeah, he's a
like
horror
film
director,
should
so
direct
obviously
it.
he's more influenced in that role.
Yeah.
So.
Again, it's like I said before, it's so dark.
Yeah, even with the ending twist, very much like how you'd see Saw, the
yeah,
Saw twist.
just
of
like with Saw music to come on suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this film stars.
Nat
I don't
Wolff
even.
as Light.
think-
I
Yeah,
don't know who that
Nat
is.
Wolff. I've never heard of the guy.
That guy from Get Out, as I call him, the Get Out guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Get Out guy.
Because
You're
Get
right.
Out, Get Out.
Willem Dafoe. The one redeeming factor is it's got Willem Dafoe.
True indeed. Yeah, Willem Dafoe is. So this film actually let me give you a bit of.
What is it
overview
about?
of what it's about.
Yeah.
We have Light Turner instead of Light Yagami. Light
Let's just call him
Turner, he's
Light.
an everyday
American Light.
everyday American child, high schooler, emo as you have American kids, doesn't have a girlfriend as you have American kids, wants a girlfriend as you have American kids.
There's a prom.
Yeah, nerdy as you have American
Like all the
kids.
stereotypes
Yeah.
are here. Like,
Yeah, and you have bullies bullying him always, as American kids have.
because he's a loser.
Yeah, because he's a loser, even though he does 15 people's homeworks,
Yeah, which makes him smart
which makes him super smart for American kids.
for an
I
American.
think you get where I'm getting it. Yeah, I think you get where I'm going with this.
So
Yeah.
basically, he finds this Deathnote, which is a supernatural book. So it's
Yeah.
dropped by Ryuk, which is William Dafoe's
No,
character.
it's not though in this one.
Isn't it dropped by?
No, he says it's passed on from another
Oh, is it?
owner.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
you're thinking.
Yeah, I already lost
right now.
attention. So he finds this book, and this book grants you the ability to kill anyone that you write their name in. So that's
Yeah.
the whole crux of the.
There's rules. To
Yes,
it.
and basically this film sets up a conflict between him, who uses it for his form of justice, while he's being pursued by the police,
Yeah.
mainly L. So it's basically a film about them, these two dueling,
L, the super detective.
finding out who comes out on top.
Yeah.
yeah,
L is supposed to be a detective going after this
yeah, guy.
character.
Yeah, because he doesn't know who
Called-
he is. Like, so it's a
Yeah.
cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
So-
He's referred to as
Yeah.
Kira.
Yeah, right. So let's do the good parts first. Come on, let's get some good stuff out.
I mean, yeah, a very small.
I say
Go for it.
I said he has a Death Note, so I mean,
He has a Death
It's a
Note.
pretty cool premise.
and he has one. The film's called Death Note. I gotta give it kudos on that.
Good stuff.
Yep.
William Dafoe was
Willem
great.
Dafoe.
Like
Or,
him,
or,
not him.
or I
Yeah.
call him Green Goblin. too.
Green Goblin Part 2.
Yes.
Part 2, very much so.
He's good in it. His character is
No.
pretty much destroyed, but him as his performance is amazing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So,
And
to-
if you
let me,
s-
yeah,
I'll
let
say
me
if you
just,
see the motion capture, watch on YouTube. Like he's actually in the outfit as well when he's doing the motion capture. It looks hilarious, and with the LED lights in as well.
in fact, he has those LED lights.
Yeah.
His character is a bit of a strange character. It's not explained too much. So he's supposed to be a death god,
A Shinigami.
a Shinigami for Japanese culture. But
So I
he,
went back and watched the anime again.
did you actually?
Only the first 2 episodes.
It's on,
Okay.
it's on Netflix as well.
It's been
so-
a really
It's on
long
Netflix,
time.
yeah. It is a long series, but it's a really cool series to watch.
Yes.
And you've got so many spin-off films on the back of it.
Yeah.
Some
And a
Japanese,
musical.
some miniseries, a musical.
It's a musical,
You're
right? It's in
There
Japan.
is a musical. You're right. I remember reading about it.
I don't even know what's
Yeah.
in it, but might
yeah,
be better
so-
this movie.
Yeah. So the interesting thing
Yeah.
about William Dafoe's character is he's playing. He doesn't show his face. So even though William Dafoe, you're saying he did a good job, it is his portrayal through voice.
yeah.
His
character.
cackling,
Voice
his
acting,
it's
Very,
so
very good.
Yeah. And to be honest,
Green
even
Goblin.
his face is more Green Goblin rather than Ryuk from the anime, because he's
It
got
is.
the orangish gleam
Yeah.
in his eyes,
Yeah.
which Green Goblin
and
definitely
very
has.
shiny.
Yeah. But I thought, going back to what you just said about good part, I'll also say Ryuk's portrayal in terms of how he looks was also done well.
Yeah,
because I wasn't expecting.
That's not really hard to mess up though. I mean, it's like
I didn't see it. Did he have wings in this one?
No, he's got this brisket,
fans, feathers or something. Yeah.
But I think it was just his costume, right? But it was well done. They didn't try and do too much CGI to make it look, I don't know, like glowy.
I think I always saw the CGI on the deaths, to be honest. Like
CGI on the deaths. Oh god.
So I think one important thing for this review is like if you haven't watched the anime, it's a totally different spin on this movie. So we will watch the anime. So all our views from this is basically based off the original material. So we can't really give the opinion as an outsider watching this because
I will try. So I'll try my best to give an outsider's opinion. Even though I've watched the anime, I think I watched it quite a long time back.
Yeah.
So I don't remember much of it, but I can remember how I was impressed by certain parts and how I wasn't impressed by certain parts here. As we just all mentioned, I think Ryuk, the demigod, the death god character, was well portrayed. And I think casting in that sense of William Dafoe with his voice and his laugh,
mannerism,
it was very good. Yeah.
That's about it.
I think that was
everyone else was miscast. Like
I think the father was quite
not well. It's a generic cop father though. It's just like
it's not a difficult.
It's like
but if you look at any other people who was cast, you could easily see how the police officer father could have been miscast as well. They could have portrayed someone.
But to me, if he was miscast, it wouldn't offend me as much as miscasting. Like,
I think the thing is with the other characters, it's not that they particularly were miscast. It's just the way that their characters are written is wrong.
Thing is though, like, if you're gonna, I mean, what they could have easily done is make a spin-off of the original and like put it on, like make their own spin-off basically using own characters, using the Deathnote as a item. But they use the characters from the original, so that means you've got to stay faithful to it. You can't just take the characters and just ruin them all. Whereas you could just made your own story, like just make up your own story about a detective and a guy who finds it, and you can do your own plot twist. You can make your own characters, no problem. The fact is they took the source material and just ruined it for no reason. That's what's annoying. It's like, why didn't you just make a random character?
Same as Ghost of the Shell, same as Dragon Ball Evolution.
I don't know, Ghost of the Shell is different because like it's the country one. It's just
they've done it so many times. Like you say, Ghost in the Shell and Dragon Ball and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I forgot that.
Even with stuff like The Grudge and The Ring, it just doesn't work when you translate it.
The thing is though, like Netflix had the potential because they do good stuff. So that's kind of disappointing if they I mean, the main part is like. He's just a weakling.
They've given him a terrible backstory. Like in the anime, he's a good kid. He's an honest student. He's very intelligent. He's liked,
collected,
and he's quite a collected person. He is just a little bit devastated by the state of the world because sometimes you are, and there's no reasoning behind it. There's no motivation behind it. It's just that sometimes there are bad things that happen, and you want to change that. In this one, it's like, his mum died, and he gets bullied, and
so he kills a bully.
So he kills a bully, and it's like, wah. And you're like, you don't feel sorry for him. He's just pathetic.
Yeah, because it's like in the original, like when he uses it to stop a woman from being assaulted on the street. So even then he's like,
stops a rape.
Even then he's like, do I really want to use because I'm gonna kill someone? But in this one's like, he's like, there's a bully you don't like. He punched me before. Let's cut his head off. Okay. I'm like, what the decapitation?
How would you want to kill him? Not just heart attack or something. Decapitation.
And then and the whole idea that I'm going to call Anime Light and American Light. Anime Light comes to his own conclusions about the book. He reads through it. He understands it himself. And when Ryuk turns up, he's like, I've been expecting him. This one, American Light, has to be spoon-fed for the entire thing.
He's never in control, is he?
He's never in control.
And he's actually manipulated, isn't he? By the death god.
Ryuk turns out to be some kind of puppet master.
For no reason.
Originally, he's just kind of,
bored.
You know what, I'm bored. I'm going to throw this into the human world because I'm kind of interested to see what will happen.
He's just a passive observer, seeing how humans interact with
he follows Light around, like even in the day, because he's invisible, so he doesn't have to stay in the shadows all the time. So he's just chilling at school, like, hey Light, how's it going?
Exactly, yeah.
And the whole thing about like him being a custodian of the book when it's actually like it was supposed to be his, but now it's just being passed from human to human. And
I think it's a fact they try to make Ryuk like antagonist for no reason. Because what he's in the original is he's just like, you can kill whoever you want, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to get involved in what you do. Yeah. Whereas here, he pretty much gets, sorry, I killed them because you weren't going to do it. I'm like, why? Why are you being a random...
Well, I thought that was Mia, though.
No. At one point he goes,
Well, he thinks it's real.
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But even then he goes, yeah, I'll kill them. Like, in that one's like, I don't get involved in your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just eating apples
Yeah.
and watching you do stuff in the back. But in this one, he acts in a very antagonistic way for no reason.
Yeah.
When there is an antagonist out there, as in L.
Yeah, because L and Light are supposed to be kind of two sides of the justice system. Like,
both going for
vengeful
justice.
and-
Yeah.
But they've got
in
their own
different
opinions of
methods,
justice,
yeah.
but not in this film. But
It doesn't explore that.
It doesn't even
side.
explore that philosophical aspect. But I thought, I think we could keep on going how it compares badly and poorly to the original
Yeah.
anime. But if I'm going to take it as a film by
Standalone,
itself,
right.
standalone
If
film,
he's randomly watched it, like, what is this?
what will you say about how the narrative structure of the film is? Like,
Oh,
so
I
how the
mean-
film goes on from one storyline to another, and do you think
very
at least it
rushed.
follows well?
No, I said before, I know what happens in the beginning up until like he shows off the Deathnote to get a girlfriend,
Oh.
and then
That's not like, come on, man.
and
Cringe.
then L
Cringe
and
level
then,
American.
and then stuff happens which I don't really know what. Nothing really happens for about half an hour or 40 minutes, and then L comes on TV, and then
I know
there's
it's you.
about
It's like-
you see L straight away, by the way, which shouldn't happen. And then there's like 20 minutes at the end where it's just horrifically rushed, and there's this whole middle section,
The
which
whole
is
car
just,
chase is involved,
like
and like,
drawn out, and nothing really happens.
You know that chase scene where Elle is chasing
Yeah.
Light? Both of them are like at two ends of the world, and even then the cameraman is trying to show them, oh, he's really close by and he's really following through. The entire chase scene, I was like, why are you showing this to me? Because
Yeah.
it ends with them just confronting each other. They could have not had a chase scene and still
Yeah.
confronted each other. And then it just is it's just completely...
I think
Yeah.
mainly main problem was it's just the director just was not the right guy for it, because
No.
this should be more like this film put the more emphasis on the deaths or this Final
Yeah.
Destination, like something. That's just why is this in
It's
here
more-
for?
This
It's more
film definitely
psychological.
was a Final Destination.
Very much, and I think they should have put that stuff to the side and focus more on the cat and mouse game between the two guys, because
Yeah.
they're supposed to be both geniuses, and
Yeah.
watching that is what made the original so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Whereas this one, they just glossed over the fact, like, this was the greatest detective in the world,
Yeah.
but he shows his face, like, in public straight away. It's just like,
Yeah, the like bait scene
Yeah.
was very different, and I
Epic.
don't think it was as
Very
good.
much of.
I think the soundtrack played a lot of
The
importance.
soundtrack
Soundtrack
was
as well,
bad.
yes.
Yeah.
I was
Like
gonna
you
talk
can't
about
just use
80s music.
classic 80s or 90s songs and think it will make your film better.
And even sample
only-
rate,
It
not even
only,
like
it only
made.
works in films like Guardians, or like recently Guardians and Baby Driver, where they actually have some kind of relationship to the music. This
True.
time you were just
Yeah.
using songs because
Promote Stranger
This was
Things.
not even based in
Promote
the 80s.
Stranger Things
This film
pretty
was
much.
not even in the 80s. I don't know why they did that.
It doesn't make any, that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
I think it goes back. I think it goes back to the director's choice,
Yeah.
because I think the director
He's
must
doing
have
what?
worked in. He saw this Final Destination film. He said, "Oh, these two are so similar. Let me pitch my direction based on Final Destination."
Well, let's not say that. The screenwriter is also involved, who is the guy who wrote Fantastic.
Fantastic.
So,
Yeah,
well, that's
There's
really,
something about all these Fantastic Four films that
Yeah.
bodes evil and
yeah,
bad.
so it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, we could obviously.
So there's no proper relationship between Mia and Light. Like
She's just a crazy girl for no reason.
She's just a psycho sociopath who gets off on the fact that he's killing people. And
But never explain why is she like this.
yeah,
Like, why
no.
is she?
And like,
Well, she does explain at one point where she says, "Oh, I was just a cheerleader before I met you."
But what does that mean?
so now you're just a psycho. And and just
I think
Why is it always raining? That's another thing.
why is it always dark? Why is it always
Why is
raining?
it-
Why is he
And
so
why are all
dramatic?
the camera angles slanted like
Yeah.
Battlefield?
Like
Ugh.
it's a really
I don't know if you
bad
noticed
It's
that.
stylish.
I very very
Dutch
very much
angles.
noticed that.
Yeah.
And
They call it-
he's always hanging around sports teams when they practice.
And neon lights.
Like there's the football team at the beginning who run away because it's raining, and then he's hanging around a basketball team as well, and it just doesn't make any sense. And then like so he publicizes himself as well, and he's like, yeah, people should be scared of me.
Yeah.
I'm a god. Whereas like in the anime, he was like he kind of anoints himself with this sort of divine.
But he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it for the attention. He does it because he is.
Yeah, he has a divine
Yeah.
purpose, but he thinks like, and also there's consequences in that version as well, like on
Very
your
much so.
soul. And he's like, I accept those consequences because I am going to make the world a better
Whereas
place.
here it's just another.
He just uses it to get a
American
girlfriend, pretty much.
Yeah, he
He's like-
does it to get a girlfriend.
Yeah, I
The
need to
one,
get
the
in
one scene that
someone's
basically sums the film
pants.
up is like he's using it in school for some reason as well, like in public.
Mm.
He's writing it and the girl comes up to him and she's like, "Oh, what is it?" He goes, "I can't tell you." Then she goes, okay, and she's about to go, oh, okay, I'll tell you.
Oh my god,
In
yeah.
literally 1 split second, he just changed. I'm like,
Change his mind.
originally, I would no way.
It's a secret, but I'm going to tell you because
Yeah.
you might end up in bed with him.
Yes, exactly.
Basically,
That's the exact mindset.
That is-
basically what this
that
film
is
has,
his motivation.
what this film has done, right? I mean, if I want to sum it up, I'll just say is what if an idiot found the Death Note? That's asking that question.
What if an
Yeah.
emo idiot
Yeah.
found
An
a Death
emo
Note?
idiot.
Original-
Without a girlfriend.
Who
Who needs a girlfriend?
Who screams and cries like an 8-year-old girl,
Basically,
and his face is stupid, especially when it goes into slow motion.
I think like what I was gonna say is it was original. He's saying what would happen if a genius found it, or a guy who knew what was doing. This is like what if just a random depressed idiot found it, and just like
Yeah.
I think that is a very, very good description of how Japanese anime or Japanese films compare to American films.
I mean,
one
it's-
is made and geared towards idiots.
not
One is
really.
geared
I wouldn't say
towards
that because
people who
like
like.
yeah, The Departed, which was a Hong Kong.
Oh, I meant the adaptations.
Oh, yeah.
I meant adaptations. Obviously, you've got very smart American
Yeah.
They've got to
films.
like dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
bit too.
And I don't understand that. Why they feel they need to dumb it down?
They
Yeah,
should-
and it's
because-
already like a kind of psychological thing. Why do you
Yeah.
have to make it dark and brooding and rainy?
and neon lights, Stanix neon lights. Anyone neon lights is Atomic Blonde, man. I thought I saw less neon lights in Atomic Blonde than I did in this film, man.
And I think that's what I was really disappointed about with Netflix itself, because
Yes.
Netflix doesn't need to do what Hollywood does.
Yeah,
They're
No.
known for their
like Daredevil.
brave, bold moves,
Like
right?
Hush.
Yeah.
Hush is a really, really good kind of psychological horror. If you haven't watched it, go and watch
Is that the Will Smith one?
No. She lives in like a cabin and she's a writer and she's deaf. And this like serial killer comes and murders her neighbor and realizes that she's deaf. And then just the rest of the film is him just messing with her.
She realizes she's deaf. You said.
No,
She's not deaf.
He realizes that she's deaf.
Oh, okay.
Oh, deaf.
Deaf.
Oh, I thought you meant like as in deaf, like
Yeah.
she's
No,
the
no,
Grim
no,
Reaper.
And then like he's just messing with her. He's like, oh, you know, you can't hear me, so I'm just gonna like creep around your house and kill you and stuff.
I
And
think
that's
I've
a
actually seen
great
this film.
movie.
It's
I've
basically
seen
like-
this film.
It's
Yeah, I've
really,
watched
really
it.
good movie.
It's like last week's
It's a very
review
good
when
film, yeah.
you just end up suggesting another movie instead of the movie you're reviewing.
Oh yeah, because I watched American Made, and then I was like, if you actually want to watch a film about Escobar, watch The Infiltrator. Just gonna put that.
And
out
in
there
this
again.
case, if you want to watch,
Breaking Bad guy.
yeah,
in
kind
the
Yeah, Bryan
center.
Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
See, thank
Yeah,
you.
that was a good film. That was a good
Thank
film.
you.
I remember
a
that.
review for this one. If you don't watch Death Note, just watch the anime. It's already on Netflix, so it's not like it's gonna.
I would even say go and watch the Japanese one that came out in like 06, 07.
Which
Because that's what
is a bit
I
more
saw
condensed,
first.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
saw that first, and I really liked
Oh, the
it.
2-part ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
and
they knew you had to have 2 parts. You can't do
Yeah.
it all in one film.
And I really, really liked that one. And then my friend turned to me and says, "Well, if you like the film, you're going to love the anime."
Yeah.
And we binged it in like two or three things in one
Right.
night, and it was great.
And, yeah.
No, I think all sounds good. I think there are just a few more things I would mention. This is not to compare the film to the anime. It's more as a standalone film itself.
Yeah.
We all mentioned the soundtrack and the camera angles and the. I think in terms of lighting it was well done, but I feel like this film
It's
was
not hard
done
when it's neon lights all the time.
yeah, I feel like
Face is all lit up.
I know, man. I feel like this film was almost done by a university student, film student, and he's just trying his best to do what he does, rather than a veteran.
Yeah, it's like okay, take this source material and do your own interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And he's getting a U.
No, it had a Death Note in it, so I'll at least give it an F.
I think the Death Note looked legit.
Except for the millions and millions of rule pages.
Oh, of course, yeah. And the 20 pages about rules and rules
Yeah.
after rules. I think the other thing that really stuck out was both the main characters, Mia and Light, both being evil, rather than one having a different perspective to the use of Death Note. So I thought that would have added a different dimension to the film and
Yeah. Because
made it a bit
there
more.
wasn't any connection.
They're both just
between
psychopaths.
the-
Whereas in the original, like the only reason she partners up with him is because he saved her life,
Yeah.
and that's the reason she's so obsessed with him, because she feels like
In the anime.
yeah, like he saved my life. I'm gonna devote my time. This is like they're both cycles. I'm like, okay, fair enough, cool,
Yeah.
cool story, bro.
and she's just she just wants the note for herself, really.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't really.
Well,
You don't believe any of it.
I was a good ranting today because it's been a while since you ranted. I think
We've had a lot of films where we either like
Transformers was the last big rant,
So
so
this
this
Mummy,
one-
and the Mummy.
The Mummy, yeah.
but the Transformers, I think, was the epic rant. I think
That
we
was
went-
it, both in one episode.
that was so nice. It's
Anyway,
nice to
I
see
think-
it.
So thank
In
you
terms
for
of-
allowing us to rant, but take it down.
Yeah, don't watch it. Yeah, even on Netflix, even if you have got Netflix already, don't
Just watch the other Deathnote. It's already on there. So it's
Yeah.
like
Oh my! Just going back to that scene where he first meets Rio. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, that
like
scene.
he,
That's gonna
he
be the-
sees the back of an
Yeah.
8-foot tall demon.
Doesn't
and
scream.
He's fine. Then he turns around. Then he screams like a child and falls over the floor. And
that's gonna be the thumbnail for this video, by the way. His face screaming.
You watch. I think that's in the first 5 minutes. If you watch that, you'll realize what we're talking about.
I had to try and watch it twice. So I watched it last night and it was kind of late, and so I was falling asleep.
You took one for the team.
And I thought I missed stuff.
You took one for
so
the
I
team.
was like, oh, I think it was bad, but maybe I missed something. So I watched it again today. No, I didn't miss anything.
Basically, you took a hit for the team.
Anyway,
and
I think
appreciate
we
that.
all agree it's a waste of source material.
My 3-word review, if I forget, pile
Go
of
for
garbage.
Pile of garbage.
Yeah, that's mine.
Elenia, do you have any?
Mine's not as nice, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay,
It's going to be bleeped out.
after 9 o'clock will be fine.
Watch the original.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Watch
what
the
I wanted to
anime.
say as well. Yeah, watch the original anime.
Or watch anything else on Netflix.
Or
Oh,
literally-
The
yeah.
vast library.
Or watch it twice.
Yes. You know what? Yeah.
Nah, that's a long puffy day. It was like 5 hours, man. 2.5
Oh, it is a
hours.
long.
You know
it is a long
what?
film.
Go watch Dark Tower. If you're
Oh
gonna
my
watch,
God.
If you're gonna watch a pile of rubbish, watch Dark Tower.
If you're going down that path, Transformers last night. I mean, that is.
I mean, at least that's
You know what we should do?
Oh, yeah.
I think this brings us to a good conclusion. We should have like the lowest rated film, rated as not Batman versus Superman anymore. It is Death Note.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we should have our own rating, like our
We're
own
gonna have
rating.
we're gonna have bars.
Bars.
So-
Does it cross Batman versus Superman? No, it's not as bad.
No,
Sorry,
Superman,
can
it's
we
like
be better?
Batman and Superman.
No, this one is worse. Death Note
this
is definitely worse.
This
I
is
think.
definitely worse. So you've
yeah.
got like Death Note.
So we've got Batman versus Superman, then Death Note, and probably The Happening at the end.
What? No! The trees are the bad guys, man. What's wrong about that movie? That's genius.
I think The Happening is always the worst. It can never be beat.
Yeah, I think that was a total waste of my money. At least with Netflix, like I
You're not
pay a monthly
spending-
subscription, and
Exactly.
I can watch something else and make myself feel better. But I paid good money to watch The Happening, and it was bad. What would the top be then?
Well,
I
Barbie
think that is
movies.
something
No, like of the
very
top of the rating.
difficult.
That's another whole different question.
Yeah, that is
we can
a
make
whole
a
different
we can make another show just
yeah.
asking you about that.
That's
different
a
show.
behind the scenes discussion
Yeah.
we're going to have.
And on that note, I think we should close
Yes.
our show for today. Glad you joined us, and hope you come back for our next episode. We'll have all three of us hopefully in the next episode. Hopefully with another
Actually,
guest
I mean,
as
Athens
well.
next week, so see ya.
We'll have some good films to review as well. It's still the summer season ending, so we'll have big films still coming up.
Kingsman.
We have Kingsman.
Yes.
Wild River
Indeed.
looks good with Hawkeye.
Wind
and-
River.
Wind
Wind
River.
River.
Is it
Wind
I'm
River?
very much looking forward to
I've
it.
heard good things about it as well,
Yeah.
actually.
Jeremy Renner, good guy.
What about Mother? Do you think Mother?
Mother or Una? Una was one I was meaning to watch.
With Mother, I don't know. I mean,
J-Lo.
yeah, it's just a bit.
I haven't seen Mother
It looks,
yet,
trailer
so-
looks. I don't know. I just see.
It's Javier
Bardem.
Bardem and
Oh, yeah,
Jennifer
yeah.
Lawrence.
It's
Both
like
of
some
them
thriller or something.
Oscar winners, right?
I don't know about Javier, but yeah.
Javier,
What did-
yeah,
what
he's
did-
won.
what did
No
Lawrence
24
win an
Oscar.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What did Lawrence win an Oscar for?
Jennifer Lawrence, the first film, Silver Lining Playbook.
Oh,
Yes.
did she? Okay.
Yeah.
Silver
It's just weird how
Lining
random
Playbook.
actors just randomly get an Oscar. Like, it's just like you never expect it. Like after what they do, following on.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, great.
And Victoria and Abdul, you guys will be seeing this week,
We
right?
will be.
Tuesday,
We will
yes.
be.
And-
Press screening.
Yeah. Well,
us
I've already seen it.
Even before press screening. Wow, that's a
Super
next
press.
level pass.
Right, let's
Yeah.
call it up because
Yeah.
I gotta go somewhere
Indeed.
after this. So
Thank you very much for joining. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a
Cheers.
good one.
Bye. Have a good weekend.